All right, let's talk about the elite quarterback, Joe Flacco. Another good performance here from the Colts. Ultimately didn't result in a win, but hey, 37-34 loss, those are rarely on the quarterback. Let's talk about what Flacco was able to do so well in another good performance here for the Indianapolis Colts, this time against the Jaguars. Let's get into it. Starting off with a play like this. A lot of what he's doing is just, these Colts receivers are pretty good. He has a lot of talent and kind of just hitting the right guy. And him and Josh Downs, for Anthony Richardson, he has to be seeing this and saying, okay, I got to start getting the ball in Josh Downs' hands a lot more once he comes back. Because like this play, it's over the middle on a one-on-one matchup against man coverage. Flacco's going to take the snap. He's going to be, smart, very patient here, makes this throw at a really good time, avoids the, linebacker lurking over the middle of the field. And as of right now, Downs is just open. Flacco makes this throw and, Downs takes a big hit at the end there, but he'll take it because he gets to pick up the big gain as well. Really good stuff here by the Indianapolis Colts and good stuff by Joe Flacco. Again, a lot of times when the quarterback is at their best, people aren't really talking about them too much. It's more about, especially a guy like Joe Flacco and his play style, it's more about getting the ball in your playmaker's hands and making the right play that way. That's what he does. Again, something like this too, where it's a zone coverage concept, and guess who he's going to look towards? It's going to be Josh Downs once again, running this just quick slant route. Could get a gap in coverage. Keep in mind the game situation here, though. It's early on in the game, but it's a 3rd down and 6, so that's a key aspect of all of this. Watch as Flacco takes the snap. He's going to look towards Downs. And if you look at how well this route is ran, the player covering Downs is moving towards the top of the screen as Downs is moving towards the bottom of the screen. So linebacker on a receiver, tough matchup, hard to blame him. But this is also why you run this concept if you're if you're the Colts. It's why why slot receivers are so valuable, is because you can get these types of matchups. And again, Flacco putting this one right on the money to where Downs can make the grab, get the first down. It's just reading the play, putting it in the right spot. It's simple stuff, but it's good stuff if you're a Colts fan. And again, for Richardson, who will be coming back here, he is still the starter. This kind of can show maybe how this can work and how this offense can work, because it's showing what they can do. Like this next one's another one where it's a 3rd down and 3 right here for the Colts. You have the Jaguars in a zone coverage, and it's going to be kind of a similar thing. This time, not a Josh Downs play, but you're going to have a tight end run a route, just trying to get into a gap in coverage right here. When this play begins, this is Will Malroy who is running this route. You see him, he's open. This was not quite frankly, not well played by Jacksonville. They should have been a little bit more aware than this, but they're going to close this gap. You have to get the ball there quickly. Again, it's a 3rd and 3. You got to make this work. But that's going to be what Flacco does. Gets the ball over to Malroy. They're able to pick up, 7 yards on that 3rd down and 3. Really good stuff there by Flacco, I think. And so, he was able to do stuff like that, kind of the simple stuff, which is still very much important. But it was also able to do stuff like this, which, this one was one of the plays of the game because they were down 14 with, a little over 4 minutes left. They need a big play. And Alec Pierce, who seems like he's, every game now getting a long play, he ended up with 134 yards in this one. But you see on this one, it's a one-on-one matchup on the outside. Flacco is going to, like I said, you kind of need a play here. So, Flacco takes the snap. The safety's on the other side of the field. So, Flacco's sending this one down the field. And, Pierce is wide open. This is a great job by Alec Pierce. But still, hitting a deep shot is not easy to do, even if it is wide open. And Flacco puts this one right on the money. Ends up getting ruled down at the 1. Not quite a long touchdown, but they score a touchdown just shortly after. So, that was a really good job by, by Alec Pierce and by this Colts team. But also this one, which is a little bit different, but it's kind of a similar game situation. This is earlier in the game, but it's a 3rd and 15. You have 15 minutes left on the game clock. It just started the 4th quarter, and you're down 10 points. So, it's one of those weird things where, okay, a field goal is what you need, but at the same time, is a field goal what you need? Because you do need to, at a certain point, get a touchdown. Yes, 3 points has to be the minimum here to give you a chance later on to be able to score on one drive, but you want to be able to get more than this. Also just goes to show how crazy this 4th quarter was. They scored 24 points in it. But anyway, Mo Alley-Cox, that was the route you saw on the screen, running a deep shot. Flacco's just throwing up a jump ball. That's all this is. It's just a pure jump ball. Mo Alley-Cox, big enough player. Let's throw it up there and see if he can make a play, which, there's some logic to this. Sometimes you, like I said, have to let your playmakers make a play. That's what Flacco does. And if he's in a bad situation, it's going to make the situation worse. But here he's making a good situation better because Mo Alley-Cox makes that grab. They get the touchdown. Again, these couple of plays were what was able to get the Colts back into it. They ultimately were able to tie the game. Unfortunately, for them, the Jaguars were able to get a big play at the end a couple big plays at the end to get the game-winning field goal and at the end of the game. But still, some good stuff here. But there's another play I got to talk about with Joe Flacco. It's not just the throwing. I mean, when you think Joe Flacco, you think dual threat quarterback. That's right. He had this one as well. It's a man coverage concept on a 3rd down and 8 right here. You're thinking man coverage, yeah, sure, we can play man coverage against Joe Flacco. He's not a threat to run. Flacco takes the snap, and you're going to see that, the Colts block this very well. Flacco steps up, and at this point, you're like, wow, he might actually be able to rush for a 1st down right here, just given the way the concept works, right? If you're a defensive lineman, you're purely thinking about pass rush. You're not thinking you have to worry about his running. If you're in coverage, half the guys, 5 out of 7 guys in coverage aren't even looking towards him because it's man coverage. So yeah, you're thinking, okay, here we go. Going to be able to pick up a 1st down. He doesn't just do that. Watch him. Watch the legs of Lamar Jackson. Joe Flacco here. Really good stuff to make all this work. This is just fun, right? It's fun to see him come in and again have some really good games here for the Indianapolis Colts. So then what's the point of all of this? What's the overarching thing I have to say about Joe Flacco? Okay, good performance. We got that. And I legitimately think it's a good performance by him. I think it's one of those situations where is Joe Flacco a top 32 quarterback in football? I think so. I think so if you're ranking them at this point. But obviously, the thing is, what's your ceiling with a guy like Joe Flacco? He's, 40 years old, and he's not a top 10 quarterback in football. So you're not necessarily getting that. I think we saw last year with Cleveland. That might kind of be the ceiling, is you can get to the playoffs, but maybe not do too much else. So you're probably still better off going with an Anthony Richardson and just seeing if you can develop him because you have a higher ceiling that way. But it is one of those things, too, where, I don't know, if for the Colts, if you have an injury-prone quarterback, it's good to have a guy like Flacco who can come in and win you a couple games if he needs to. And who knows, maybe you're going to get a team that feels like they're a playoff team and loses their quarterback, and now we'll give you a 2nd-round pick for Flacco or something like that. But probably this is just what you're going to have. It's good backup quarterback play, which is fun to see still. So, yeah, that's what I think about Flacco and the Colts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.